We are delighted to have you here at the PHILSME Business Show. This is a business podcast and vodcast dedicated to help SME business owners like you boost your business. On today's episode, we meet two dynamic individuals empowering your teams through financing and health insurance. Juls is the Vice President and Channel Head of Luzon Team of Security Bank's Business Banking segment. Juls has had 29 years of work experience from various banking institutions. He has extensive exposure in the fields of consumer finance, corporate lending, and product management. Jiawen Tang is the president and co-founder at Hive Health. Prior to Hive Health, she has worked on data science and digital development initiatives with the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and the United Nations. She has an MBA from Stanford Graduate School of Business and an MPA International Development from Harvard University. She also graduated from Columbia University with a BA in Economics Political Science. Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Staying in touch with the people who champion your business isn't always easy. That's why businesses love Benchmark Email. Benchmark Email is the simplest way to send professional, personalized emails that grow your business. Visit www.benchmarkemail.com/go to learn more.
Running a business can be hard, but over 7 million people have found a way to make it easier with Odoo. Odoo's suite of business applications streamline, automate, and simplify your business. With user-friendly, intuitive, and fully integrated apps for CRM, accounting, e-commerce, manufacturing, inventory management, you name it, Odoo's got it. Stop wasting time with old software and start getting stuff done with Odoo. Get a free trial at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Hello, welcome to the PHILSME Business Show. My name is Jiawen Tang. I am the president and co-founder of Hive Health.
Welcome again to the PHILSME Business Show. My name is Juls Muncal, and I'm the sales channel head for Luzon for Security Bank Business Loans.
What's your favorite PHILSME experience?
Yeah, I'm happy to start. So Hive Health participated in PHILSME for the first time last year. I know Security Bank's been a long-time member of the Expo and the network, but we really loved our experience. We loved that there were so many SMEs and really micro and smaller SMEs who showed up to learn about each booth, about our HMO plans. And one thing that really struck my team and for me personally is that a lot of the accounts that we talked to and actually all the SMEs that we ended up signing up with Hive were first-time purchasers of HMO plans for their team, and that really meant a lot to us, since that's really part of our mission to help the underserved SME market.
Yeah, okay. Well, just like you, I had fun first and foremost because it was a very productive event. I think the most important thing that happened there were the conversations that we had with SMEs, because the moment they approach our booth, we try to ask them, how can we can be of help to you, and then they start asking, we need this and we need that, and of course the opportunity to present, to showcase our product on stage, and it's really a very festive event. So we're looking forward to joining the next one.
So what kind of problem are you solving? Can you tell us a story, Jules?
Yeah. Okay. So one of the things that we come across most of the time is that SMEs have problems with their cash flow management. So that's how we step in. For example, we have this customer. He's been a supplier of a large company that manufactures fabrics. So our client is actually buying his supplies from his own suppliers in cash and delivers them to that manufacturer, but then gets paid 60, 90 days after. So it's very obvious that there's already a financing gap. So paying your supplies in cash, but you get paid in return 90 days after. So that's how we step in. We provide working capital by way of our business loans that we make very accessible to SMEs. Most of the time, that's the case. Some cases are for instance, expansion. There are SMEs that already, because their business have grown, twofolds, threefolds already, and they need a bigger space. So they try to acquire the current space that they have, or they look elsewhere to buy a office or a factory, and that's where we usually step in. So those are the things that we try to help in terms of SMEs. Yeah.
Yeah, I think similarly for Hive Health, you talked about the life cycle of the SME and being able to support. For us, we're all about how do we make healthcare more affordable and accessible. You talked about the financing gap. That's something that's very much the core of what we're trying to solve. And we think about healthcare accessibility in 3 pillars. So first is people coverage. How do we cover more people, get more SMEs, get their families and dependents covered? Second is services covered. So PhilHealth really only covers inpatient and not much outpatient or medicine. And so we're providing modern benefits and getting more people and more benefits covered. And then the third pillar is financial coverage. So how do we get more people covered, more services covered, and cover a higher portion of the financing aspect? So I think very similar in that in the life cycle of the SME, how do we help them think less about the health and the hassle of how do you pick out the right plan, how do you enroll, and so we're really thinking about from the moment that someone is joining to all the complexities of navigating their healthcare journey.
Yeah, I think your proposition will be very much helpful, because as we know, the size of SMEs at most would be 200 employees. So, if they don't have health coverage, and maybe some of them, 5 or 10 people, if they get sick at the same time, then their operations get affected. So, so I think if with your service available to them, that would be a lot in terms of making sure that their operations really continue, even if some people get sick, and the cash flow of the company is not affected because you're there to cover the medical expenses.
Yeah, I think we're both solving really like the nuts and bolts for SMEs, where how do you make sure that they can get paid and pay, and then for Hive, it's how do we make sure that you can keep your team healthy, and so that they can focus on what they do best. Yeah.
Can you just share with us how do your solutions work?
Yeah, sure. So Hive Health, we are a digital HMO for SMEs and growing enterprises. And so we offer comprehensive health plans. And how we work is really bridging both the virtual care and in-person care. And we're solving this for both HR and business owners as well as for patients. So for HR, it's really how do we make it really hassle-free to onboard and enroll members, manage their plans, understand what are benefits, and we take care of answering all the questions and navigating their employees and the members' care journeys, so that you don't have to go back and forth filling out a lot of spreadsheets or filling out manual papers just trying to enroll someone or understand what's covered. And then for patients, we really try to make the entire journey very hassle-free. So the moment you get on board to our app, you can have your ID card accessible to you, and if you get sick, all you have to do is book a teleconsult, meet with a Hive teleconsult doctor immediately, and you don't have to wait in lines. And if you need to go get a test, you can look in our app for any of our doctors and hospitals in our network across the Philippines, and you can actually request a letter of authorization online, so you don't have to wait for hours at the clinic just for a piece of paper to go to the doctor, and then if you need another lab test, you have to go back and wait in queues. We talked about this before, that for SMEs, every hour, every minute matters, and we're trying to make the entire process as seamless as possible through our digital platform and through our HMO plans.
Yeah, well, the online consultation that you mentioned is, I think, very helpful, because the traditional HMO that I know of, for example, I'm a patient, I have to get an LOI from the company, I have to go to the diagnostic clinic and line up there and wait for hours. But if teleconsult is available, then that will really save a lot of time for the employees. So that's a really good proposition in your case. So in Security Bank's case, what we offer, basically, I'll delve into it. We offer 2 kinds of business loans. Our best seller right now, I should say, is our Business Express loan, because it's a loan that doesn't require any collateral at all. So we really want to make our products very accessible to small and medium enterprises. because we know that small businesses, most of them don't have any collateral to offer. When we talk of collateral, as many people know of, banks require real estate. But if you're small businesses, you wouldn't have that. So where we come in is that we give loans up to 5 million, sometimes up to 10 million for those who are already clients of Security Bank, and that can be paid over a period of 36 months. So it's really very helpful. And then for those businesses who are maybe in the medium-sized category already and they have properties to offer, so we have what we call a business mortgage loan. So we lend up to 80% of the property that they, of the value of the property that they offer as collateral. And that can be paid over a number of years. Let's say they're buying a fixed asset. Let's say they're buying a building. So it's a long-term asset. They can pay that over 10 years. Or for some people who just have a working capital gap, like I explained earlier, they just have a short cash flow constraint. Then we also have a credit line available where they can draw only the amount that they need to use, and pay us off within X months. So those are our two main products. Of course, we continue to expand, to expand our product shelf, but we're not just really into loans. Our proposition is really to provide a holistic solution for SMEs. That's why I have to mention that we've partnered with several fintech companies. If I may mention them, for example, Philme, it's a fintech company that that guide SMEs in terms of how to comply with their with the tax regulations. We also have a partner called My Legal Wiz. This is for SMEs who would need legal advice or even draft legal contracts for them, and those stuff. And one of the very nice products that we also offer is what we call the SBC Collect. If you are an SME and you would like some of your customers prefer to pay credit card, so what we do is we just send a payment link. You can just send a payment link to your customer. They use that link to pay via credit card, and then that's it. The business doesn't have to have a usual card terminal and many other things. So we're really out there to help SMEs. Okay, well, Security Bank has been in the banking industry for many years already. In fact, providing loans to small businesses is not something that is new to us. We've been doing it for a long time, except that in late 2022 or 2020 or early 2023, we decided, our senior management decided to become more aggressive, because we know that the SME market is really huge. As we speak today, there are about close to 1.3 million registered MSMEs, out of which 10% are small and medium in size. So that is what we cater to, and I've read that every year, on the average, there are about 1 million new businesses being registered. So there's really a huge opportunity for Security Bank. That's why in the recent years, we've done a lot of process re-engineering. We've introduced new products, as I said, so that we can be made more accessible. And when I say accessible, what I mean is that the application process is made easier. Unlike other banks where they ask for all sorts of documentary requirements, in our case, we just ask for the usual KYC and primarily the bank statements of the SMEs, and that's what we use as basis for determining whether they can, how much loan they can get, or whether they are creditworthy or not. Of course, we make use of the credit bureaus as well, but we try to make our turnaround time as fast as possible, because SMEs, when they come to us, truly they need help in the fastest way possible.
Yeah, so Hive Health was actually founded in 2021 during the pandemic. Me and along with my co-founder Camille, we actually met in grad school at Harvard. It was during the pandemic. We were trying to see what is something that we can do to help leverage the skills that we bring from different financial services and fintech experiences to do something about what we're seeing in the world. And you talked about accessibility and affordability. I think a lot of the themes that you talk about in terms of what we see, we saw that SMEs were really this very underserved market, and that they really needed healthcare, and so Hive Health was born to really try to provide these all-in-one HMO plans for SMEs. But I think beyond the yes, we're a startup that was founded in recent years. We actually recently acquired, back in 2023, one of the oldest HMOs in the country. It's called HPPI, or Health Plan Philippines Inc. And so it's been this really interesting combination, like you said, that we have this startup DNA, and we're very much focused on SMEs, but we're combining it with this long institutional knowledge and history and the 40-year-old provider network of HPPI, so that we're providing all the core benefits that an HMO would offer, that people would expect, but then we're adding on the digital aspect as well as a different approach. And it sounds like Security Bank is doing something similar to build these tailored solutions for SMEs or micro SMEs, to meet them where they are, and to provide services that are truly valuable when they need it. Yeah.
So we would like to ask you, what can you offer to the PhilSME community? Can you share that with us?
So what we can offer basically are the holistic solutions that I've mentioned, not just the loans that I've explained earlier, but the partnerships that we have with fintechs, so that we want to make Security Bank like a one-stop shop for SMEs, where everything that they need, financial access, services, consultancy, guidance, deposit products that we have, including insurance, because right now, if I may mention, we also provide business insurance, for theft, for fraud, for things like that. So these are all made available, and we're really looking forward to the SME event, because that's an opportunity for us to showcase that more, and have that conversation with the clients and explain to them, because a lot of SMEs sometimes they don't realize that they need these things. They've been operating like mom and pop. They're successful, but then all of a sudden something comes up, a new opportunity comes up, and then they need capital, and then where do they go? So, so that's where we want to really step in and be active.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. For Hive, we really want to be the healthcare partner for all SMEs. I think what we can guarantee is that our plans are the most sulit there is in the market, and what that means is it's really, we want every peso that an SME is spending on a Hive plan to really count, and to be really value for money in terms of all the benefits. So we talked about teleconsultations, video teleconsultations that we offer. We also offer exclusive benefits like mental health coverage and outpatient medicine. We actually integrate your annual physical exam results, and actually do pre-employment exams for SMEs when you're trying to facilitate the hiring process. We also have reimbursement and out-network coverage to really try to make the process as seamless and comprehensive as possible, with the goal of really being the healthcare partner to be there when SMEs really need it. And it's something that we're excited to offer to all PhilSME members.
Yeah, so I'm glad to hear, Jiawen, that mental health is one of the areas that you really want to cover.
Yes,
because
it's in all plans.
After the pandemic, I've heard that a lot of people have really gone through problems emotionally and mentally because of the impact of the pandemic. So if that is part of your coverage, then that's perfect, I would say.
Yeah, thank you. It's one of our most popular services, is the mental health coverage. Yeah.
I think one of the most important thing that a small business, or a business owner for that matter, is to always be prepared for anything that may come. For example, this pandemic that just happened, nobody expected it, right? And then one of the things that we saw is that there are people who thought that they needed, for example, we have clients where they said that, so we don't need a loan. It's all right, we're doing fine, we have enough cash. And then suddenly they're not prepared because there's a new opportunity that came up when the economy opened after the pandemic, or sometimes also we have clients who had a problem with their existing bank relationships. So they used to have a credit line with that bank, and suddenly that bank decided, oh, we're going to slow down for a while. So, and then this small business comes scrambling for a new bank. Where do we go? How do we get capital? So it's really more of being prepared for what may happen.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, to expect the unexpected. I think for me, maybe on a more personal front, reflecting on my experiences as a founder of this digital health company, and I remember when we first started Hive Health, we got a lot of investor interest, and we were actually part of a startup incubator called Y Combinator, and me and my co-founder were actually we're the only female founders in the group, and it's actually quite rare. We didn't realize it then, but it was quite rare to have both founders or the founding team to be all female. And I'm really proud that the Hive leadership team is actually all female. And I think back about my journey in building the company, and as an SME owner myself, we often overestimate what we can do in the short term, but underestimate what we can accomplish in the long term. And I think that's something that hopefully will resonate with SME founders and owners, and anyone, I think, in their thinking about how overwhelmed we can get in our daily life, but to set goals. And I think especially, I guess, is a special shout out for female listeners out there to not underestimate ourselves, and to take it day by day, and that we are enough, and that we can accomplish whatever we set our goals for.
Stay tuned for a few messages from the sponsors that made this episode happen.
Staying in touch with the people who champion your business isn't always easy. That's why businesses love Benchmark Email. Benchmark Email is the simplest way to send professional, personalized emails that grow your business. Visit www.benchmarkemail.com/go to learn more.
Running a business can be hard, but over 7 million people have found a way to make it easier with Odoo. Odoo's suite of business applications streamline, automate, and simplify your business. With user-friendly, intuitive, and fully integrated apps for CRM, accounting, e-commerce, manufacturing, inventory management, you name it, Odoo's got it. Stop wasting time with old software and start getting stuff done with Odoo. Get a free trial at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
Okay, well, this is not original. I picked it up from the internet. But I have to say, pardon me, Jiawen, because I have to say it in Tagalog.
No,
okay.
okay naman.
Well, it says, mas mabuti nang kasama mo ang mga business-minded kesa sa mga chismis-minded. Kasi pag business-minded ang kasama mo, may kita ka na, hindi ka pa madidemanda. So I guess, yeah. So that means, Jiawen, that it's good to be part of people who are business-minded rather than people who like gossiping. Because if you like gossip, you have a tendency to get sued later on, and there's no money coming in because all you do is chat and chat. That's what it means.
So what do you think Hive Health and an umbrella have in common?
Let me guess. Well, Hive is like a cover. So umbrella is a cover too, I guess. I don't know if that's a good answer. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They both got you covered.
Okay. All right.
But you got it, yeah.
If you like this show, like and tap the follow button. Please feel free to leave us a review before you go, as this will definitely help more SME business owners in the Philippines. Thank you. Until the next episode.